Hello everyone, hope you're right. In today's video, I'm going to show you what plants are available in the month of May in Trentham Garden Centre, which is a really popular garden centre in Staffordshire, known as for quality plants and quality products. So I came here to buy some plants and I thought you might want to see what's available here. So you can see these beautiful hanging baskets. They are very big and they are like expensive too, but all the worth to buy a hanging basket which is really beautiful and big one, so you don't have to plant your own. I really like some of these and they also give you some inspiration to plant your own. Here are some planters with beautiful planting schemes. You can see all sorts of colors and textures and plants which bloom in early spring. They have chosen a really good selection of plants to plant these baskets and planters. They will make a beautiful gift for a loved one, and they are not really expensive, taking into account the beautiful baskets and planters and plants that go in there. And the thing is, all these plants are blooming, so you can see color in early spring, and that's all you want, isn't it? So I think it's all good and worth to buy these planters or baskets if you can afford them. And they are really beautiful and a lot of inspiration there. There are some planters with geraniums in them, and they are so vibrant and colorful with lots of varieties of geraniums, and I think they are really attractive. So I'm inside the garden center and you can see all these plants are available for sale as well. So you can buy the plants and plant your own planters or hanging baskets, osteospermums, geraniums. These things bloom in early spring and look really beautiful and vibrant. Here is a really beautiful display of dianthus, impatiens and standard fuchsia plants, and you can see the prices on the tags. There are offers available for garden center members, and these standard fuchsia plants are getting really popular these days. I have seen them in lots of local supermarkets, in garden centers, and prices vary depending on where you buy them from. And dianthus plants are also really attractive and beautiful, and they have got lovely scent to them, and they bloom in early spring, and lots of varieties available for these plants. Here is another beautiful display. Geranium plants are for sale, and the other plants you can see in between geranium plants. They are in pots and they are really beautiful plants and statement plants basically, and they have just set these up to give you some inspiration and ideas. This is a beautiful olive tree in this pot, and this is nice and big, so there is a deer in between the plants, and really beautiful display which attracts you and draws you, and like you can replicate these ideas in your own gardens. And this is why I like to visit these professional garden centers, where they don't just sell the plants, they arrange them beautifully, so they give you so many ideas. And in normal garden centers you just see the plants on the shelves like in supermarkets, but these kind of garden centers have these beautiful arrangements and displays, and I really like to visit them just for like you want to admire the plants. So here are more patio and bedding plants available. These are the trays of calibraquas and verbenas, etc. and these kind of plants are not in full bloom yet, but they are starting to bloom now. And there are planters which are already planted, and the trays with plants which you can buy to plant your own. Here is a selection of fuchsia plants, and I really love fuchsia plants. There are annual varieties and perennial varieties. I like to grow perennial varieties so they can come back every year. However, annual varieties are really beautiful as well. There are so many choices in annual varieties with different colors and textures, and they bloom all season long and requires little maintenance, so really a good choice for containers and hanging baskets. Here are osteospermum standard plants, and as I said in my previous video, I'm seeing these standard kind plants more often these days in garden centers and nurseries. They are getting really popular like tree form, and they're trying to sell many plants in tree form, and I think they make a beautiful statement plant in a container or in a garden. Here is a selection of sweet pea plants which are really beautiful fragrant plants, and some of them are annual and some are perennials. These ones are perennials, and I'm really thinking should I buy these because I really love sweet pea plants, and perennial plants means like they will come back year after year. These are annual ones, and annual ones are fragrant and perennial ones are not, but they are really beautiful plants and attract bees and pollinators. Maybe next time, this time I'm looking for some other kind of plants to go in my garden. Here are some dahlias. Dahlias are not really on sale at the moment. They will come I think in June. These are evergreen plants, enormous. They are hebes. I bought one of the hebe in my previous garden tour to go in my container. This one, which is like, and it was a little cheaper in that garden center. There are some cordylines there. All these plants can make a beautiful statement plant in a container. Here is a selection of lavender plants, and again you can see they have arranged them so beautifully with some bigger plants in the middle and then lavenders around them, so it gives you an idea how you can plant them in your own garden in a flower bed. And there are lots of varieties of lavender plants, and some of them are blooming and some of them are just budding up, but they are absolutely beautiful and fragrant. Here on this side, more evergreen plants. These are pyrus, and I have got one pyrus in my garden and they are absolutely beautiful. Here is selection of hydrangea plants, and I bought some hydrangea plants from supermarket which has like all of these varieties. They were in smaller pots for £5 each, like red, blue, pink and white, and here you can see they are much bigger and expensive as well. Here is a beautiful magnolia tree which is not for sale, just a beautiful arrangement, like it's so magnificent. Here are some topiaries like ball shapes and cone shapes, and they are so beautiful. I always admire topiaries and I do want to buy one for my garden, but I'm thinking like they are expensive, so maybe one day I will. Here are some calla lilies, and they are beautiful tropical plants, and they are in the containers already blooming, so I guess you can just buy the container and put them in as a centerpiece in a big container. More lavender plants, and you can see the hydrangeas behind. Here is an interesting variety of lavender which has variegated leaves, and I think it's really beautiful even when it's not in bloom. So here are all the perennial plants which I'm here for, and you can see you can buy 4 for £20, and I do want to buy few perennial plants. So here are delphiniums. I really admire delphiniums, and I had one in my previous garden which I started from Beirut and did not perform for me, so I do want to buy a grown plant so I can put it in my garden. Echinacea, foxgloves. I started foxgloves from seeds in my previous garden and they were so easy to grow from seeds, so I'm not going to buy foxgloves. But echinaceas I started from Beirut and they did not perform me, so I'm going to buy some echinaceas. I really like echinaceas. These are eryngiums. This is another beautiful plant which I have just discovered. This is geum, and it's really beautiful and vibrant and starts blooming in early spring, and I have seen it blooming and it's really beautiful. It's so vibrant and comes in all colors, so I'm thinking maybe next time I will buy some geum plants as well. Heuchras, costas. I really had hard time selecting which plants I really want. I had like I want to buy delphinium and echinacea, but I wanted some more varieties which will bloom beautifully for me throughout the season and will require little maintenance. So I'm looking carefully and I chose few. Here this is a really beautiful plant which is like silvery foliage, looks really attractive, and I will buy one of these maybe next time. This time I'm not going to buy it because it's a bit expensive. Another beautiful variegated plant, and this is like a bridge where they have lined up the bridge with these beautiful palm trees and variegated plants, and they're so attractive and beautiful. Cordylines, lavenders. So like again some of the plants are repeated, but they are in bigger pots, so expensive as well. Here are clematis, and I really like clematis plants. I had one in my previous garden which was just starting to perform when we moved out, and I have bought two already for my new garden, and I think you can never have too many clematis plants. If I could find a place where I can put them and make them climb, I will buy them. These are again geum plants which I was talking about, so you can see how beautiful they are looking. They are so vibrant and colorful with these flowers above the foliage, and I think they are so ethereal and delicate. More hosta plants in bigger pots. Here are some more perennial plants which are in bigger pots, 1 liter pots, so they are expensive, and some of them are already blooming. So if you can afford, you can buy big grown plants so you can have an instant color in your garden. Lots of varieties of clematis plants here. These are jasmine plants. Here are some mini evergreen standard plants, and this was bay laurel and this is olives. And there are some mini fruit trees as well, which you can grow in containers. This is a rhododendron which is already blooming. Some weeping habit trees. I like the plants which are like weeping habit to them. I would buy one for my garden at some point. Lupins, absolutely beautiful. They are big plants, so expensive as well. I had lupins 2 times. One time I bought a plant and put it in my garden. Second time I started from seeds. They performed beautifully for one season, but then they don't come back for me next year. They are perennial plants, so they are supposed to come back, and they do come back in our region, but I don't know why they don't come back in my garden. These are Acer trees, beautiful maple plants, lots of varieties of them with different colors of leaves and textures as well. I have a really beautiful maple tree in my garden which previous owners planted, and I'm really thankful for it that they chose really beautiful statement plants to go in the garden. Here are cordylines which are bigger in bigger pots. Cordylines are really beautiful as well. They are like tropical plants, more dianthus and sweet williams, and these are perennial plants, so they come back year after year. Here are vinca plants which bloom beautifully in summer. I have some of these plants in my garden which look like these, and I'm not really sure whether they are vinca or euonymus, so I will see what they are, or at some point I would get a vinca as well. These are rhododendrons, absolutely beautiful, and they have just started to bloom now, and I can see in my area people have got them in their gardens and they bloom so beautifully. I do like them. I have got one in my garden which is small plant and not doing so well, so I will see how it does. There are more trees, and there are different kinds of trees. Here are climbers, and you can see the wisteria plants which are nice and big. Here are ceanothus plants. They are really beautiful plants which bloom in late spring, early summer with purple clusters of flowers. These are smaller wisteria plants, and they have been trained in different fan shape trellises. Here are some more perennial plants: Aquilegia, Alliums. These are Isis. This is a pretty plant too, which is already blooming. So when you visit garden center often in different parts of the year, like in different seasons, spring, summer, you can identify which plants bloom in spring or in summer, so you can decide to put some of every kind of plant in your garden. This is euphorbia plant and it's already blooming. Really beautiful euphorbia plants. This section is all about rose plants, and they depict Austrian roses and so many other varieties as well. They are smaller plants in smaller pots and bigger plants in bigger pots in tree forms. Climbing roses, hybrid tea roses, floribunda roses, so many varieties to choose from. This is onion plant, really beautiful plant, and they are in big pots and so big and vibrant. I am really attracted to it, but when I check the tag, this is a bit expensive for me. This is another really beautiful plant with reddish brown foliage and beautiful texture to it. And this is like when I visit garden center, I like to look at the plants which look awesome, stand out from the crowd. So I like to read their tags and know more about them. So this is how you can build up your knowledge about plants. And I really admire all of these plants. They are so beautiful, and these are evergreens as well. This is the central plant, and it blooms in early spring, and it likes shade and woodland texture. So plants here are mostly for woodland gardens, and I do want to buy one of those central plants as well. This is also a new find for me. So this is hardy geranium, and it is like reddish foliage. I have seen hardy geraniums with green foliage, and this is really attractive. This is another beautiful section of the garden plant. You can see this is a beautiful weeping willow tree, which is nice and magnificent, and underneath they have gathered up all the evergreens. So I was really thrilled to look at this section. It was so beautiful. I think camera can't capture its beauty. This is grow your own section, where there are lots of vegetables and herbs available, tomato plants and pepper plants, aubergines, cucumbers, brassicas, lettuce, herbs, strawberry plants as well, and there are so many varieties. So this is my cart today. What I have got in my cart, this is the central plant which was on offer, so I wanted to buy the central plant, so I thought I should buy it. I bought 4 perennial plants which were all for 20 pounds. So one is Echinacea, Delphinium, Rudbeckia, and hardy verbena plants. So I thought these are beautiful plants to go in my garden, and I find them hard to grow from seeds. These are beautiful perennial bush salvia plants. So I'm done planting all my plants, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel. Press the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of my garden videos. Thank you very much for watching today. See you next time. Bye.